If you're in the market for a large SUV, but not with a petrol engine, I'm talking large electric SUV, because perhaps you do care a little bit about the polar bears and their environment, then you should be looking at the Kia EV9. The EV9 is part of Kia's all-electric range, is the big brother to the EV6, and it was launched in 2023, so it's only been around for a year. But what a car! 7 seats, 3 different trim levels. It's got 2 motor options, 1 battery option that will give you up to 349 miles of range. Yes, in a car this size, all with a price tag from 65,000 UK pounds. Definitely worth a look round in my books. That's why we've got it out on test this week, to give it a review and see what we think of the new Kia EV9. You're watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. If you've never seen what we do before, check out our trailer for the next minute and a half. If you watch us on a regular basis, you know the routine. Skip to the review. I'll see you in a minute, guys. This is how a car should sound. Listen to this.
I didn't really push it either. I was just having a good time.
Oh, really? Wheel springs?
Outside. Cool. So there you have it, guys. The Ferrari Roma. My birthday present. Here we go. We're going to meet the crew and hopefully get the paint. Nice, a real one.
I think it makes a good work.
Let's go.
Nice to start.
Nice to see you. Show us your big chopper, your helicopter. So here we are, the Morgan Roadster, where we're here for the Swiss Watch Show. And guys, guess what? It's another morning here out in sunny France. Entry-level Kia EV9s, also known as Airs, come with a single motor and battery setup. The single motor is mounted on the rear axle, giving you rear-wheel drive only, and it is 149 kilowatts, which is the equivalent in combustion engine terms of around 200 brake horsepower. It's mated up to a 100 kilowatt battery, and that in turn with the motor will give you a range of around 349 miles. 0 to 60 times, they're not bad, around 9.4 seconds with a top speed of 116 miles an hour. However, GT line models and above get 2 motors, one at the front and one at the back, so in actual fact you get all-wheel drive. The 2 motors combined will give you the equivalent in combustion engine terms of 378 brake horsepower, which is pretty phenomenal. So you get the all-wheel drive and you get plenty of brake horsepower, but you will suffer a little bit on your range. It will drop back to around 315 miles, as against the 2-wheel drive version at 349. So not a massive difference, but there is a difference there. However, the real difference comes when this 2.5 ton Goliath goes from 0 to 60 in just 5.3 seconds with a top speed of 125 miles an hour. Kia EV9s come in a choice of 5 different colours. If you're partial to red, then you're in luck, as it's part of the price. However, all other colours are going to cost you an extra £725. All paints are bio and BTX approved, which means whichever colour you do choose is going to be safe for the environment in the long term. Entry-level EV9s get 19-inch rims as standard, with GT and GTS line getting 20s and even 21s respectively. Up front, there's some really cool designer auto LED headlights with LED running lights and indicators to match. All-round privacy glass at the rear is also fitted as standard. Plus, you'll get a full set of LED rear lights, which include indicators and a futuristic stop and tail design. There's a set of rain-sensing wipers and some really handy foldy-in mirrors that heat up in the winter. Inside your Kia EV9, it looks really contemporary and totally premium, with soft fabrics, faux leathers and a really airy, spacious feel to it. The best part about it is most of the build is from recycled materials, including over 70 plastic bottles and reclaimed ghost fishing nets. As standard, Kia EV9 Airs get a tyre pressure monitor, plus a hill start assist and, believe it or not, a hill descent control button. There's a really practical multifunction steering wheel that's heated and electronically adjusted. The front seats are made from recycled waste and are superbly comfortable, plus they're fully electronically adjustable and come with memory buttons. Charging ports are underneath the fascia with USBs and a 12-volt adapter. Driver aids include lane keepy, lane follow, and there's blind spot monitors in the mirrors. Media controls are located on the right hand side of the steering wheel with volume, telephone control, Ask Kia button, star assign button and mode buttons. Cars get a DAB radio with Bluetooth connectivity, Android Auto and wireless Apple Play. Plus there's a handy wireless phone charger tucked neatly under the front armrest. Drivers get a smart 12.3-inch digital cluster which displays the sign recognition and current range, as well as other driving data that can be accessed directly from the steering wheel. All models come with dual zone air climate control, which can be accessed via a very neat 5.3-inch digital panel on the dashboard. Climate controls for the passengers are located in the roof of the rear of the car. EV9s get highway drive assist, which eventually will allow completely autonomous hands-free driving. The driving aids are located on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. GT line models and above get a handy terrain mode selector on the lower part of the steering wheel, which allows a choice of snow, mud and sand modes. There's also a drive mode select, which offers normal, sport, personalised and an economy driving setup. There's a handy forward and reverse camera with a 360-degree all-round view, as well as front and rear parking sensors to help you manoeuvre the car in tight spaces with absolute ease. In the centre of the dashboard there's a 12.3-inch TFT touchscreen, which incorporates a sophisticated sat-nav system that guides the smart cruise control using sign recognition. There's also stop and go functionality for traffic lights and roadworks. Finally, there's two gadgets on this car that I really love. You get fingerprint recognition, so the car can remember individual seating positions, steering positions, mirrors, even radio station. And then there's the key that allows you to move the car while you aren't actually in the vehicle. Genius! Round at the back of your Kia EV9, there's a screen wash and wipe hidden behind the roof spoiler. The charging port is located on the right hand side of the car and is touch sensitive. EV9s get an electronically assisted tail lift, and inside, even with all 7 seats up, you get 330 litres of boot space. Under the boot floor there's a place to store the retractable blind as well as the puncture repair kit. Under the bonnet the frunk is 90 litres with your entry level car, but only 50 litres with the all-wheel drive cars due to the extra motor at the front. With a simple touch of a button, the rear seats can be folded flat, which will increase the boot space to 830 litres, which is absolutely massive given that you can still seat 5 adults comfortably. In the boot, there's a 12-volt adapter for blowing up kayaks and bicycle tyres. On the right-hand side, there's a handy plug socket you can plug in stuff, and finally, when all the seats are down, it's big enough to put a double bed in, as well as completely flat. In the very back there is plenty of room for 2 adults with ample leg and feet space. Rows 6 and 7 also get cup holders and USB adapters to power peripherals, and all the seats can be tilted backwards for extra comfort. Second row passengers have tons of room, with seats fully adjustable both forwards and backwards, as well as reclining. Front seats have USB sockets built into them, and you can adjust the passenger seat from the driver's seat or from the passenger area. There's recessed seat belts and ISOFIX points for all 4 of the rear seats, plus a nice wipe clean faux leather surface for the rear passenger cabin area. There's a fold down armrest with a double cup holder, plus there is plenty of legroom as there's no transmission tunnel in the back. I think if you do end up purchasing one of these cars, the Kia EV9, well, you're going to be pretty satisfied with your bang for your buck, because at 65,000 it's not a cheap car. However, it comes with everything. If you were comparing this to a top of the range BMW SUV or a Mercedes, or for example a Range Rover, which I put it in that bracket, that class of car, for 65 grand, this is a very reasonably priced car. But you've got to be in that all electric market. You know, there's got to be a reason behind it. A lot of people say, well, I bought one because I've got a large family, I'm backwards and forwards to the shops every day, I'm using it for the school run. This is not really the most practical car to go on holiday in, but for doing all those things, popping out to the shops, taking the dog down the road. I mean, for example, I'll give you an example. I'll convert over into combustion engine terms. We are currently doing 3 miles to the kilowatt. Now that, in combustion engine terms, is around 100 miles to the gallon. So that's now going to start giving you the idea of, you know, the economy side of this car. Now, let's talk about charging, because that's a big thing with this car. If you're going to charge this car, try and, well, obviously you're going to put in a home charger. There's some proper deals out there. I was looking at one the other day with a company here in the UK called Octopus, and they're offering, a grant towards your charger if you sign up with them. So they'll come and install the charger, you get a grant for it and stuff like that. So look into that, because it's well worth it. Home charging, you can get a rate as little as less than 20 UK pence per kilowatt, which is absolutely brilliant when you compare it to out on the road. When you get out on the road, you are talking 74 pence and above per kilowatt. So there's a huge difference. You don't want to be charging out on the road unless you really have to. Now, home charging, you want to be looking, if you can afford it, try and get the 11 kilowatt charger. That's the one to get, because that will charge this car in around about 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours. If you get the standard 7.2 kilowatt charger, it's going to be thereabouts around about 9 to 11 hours, depending on the temperature and what time of day, how much juice is going through it, and all those different variables as well, which is similar to what happens when you're out on the road and you're charging, which I'll talk about in a second what happened to me. But the main thing is get a home charger, plug it in when you come home, leave it on charge. It's absolutely perfect. That's what this car was designed for. It's not going to take you on holiday. Well, it can take you on holiday, but I think I'd prefer to jump in my SUV, my petrol combustion engine SUV, if I'm going to do any sort of miles in this car. That's a personal opinion, I will point that out. Now let me give you my little experience out on the road charging this car the other day, because I think it's quite important to give you real world experiences if you're actually thinking of buying one of these. So I pitched up to an Ionity charging area in a place called Baldock near Royston in Hertfordshire. I'm going to point it out because it was actually pretty good, because all the charging units were working, but there were only 6 of them, and each one can handle 2 people. That's up to 12 cars. All of them were taken when I got there, even though when I checked on the app, because it comes with a little app, it did say 4 of them were free. So just bear that in mind. Obviously you can't get real-time updates as quick as that. As you're pulling in, it's obviously going to take a little bit longer to update. However, and I will say a big however on this, it only took about 10 to 15 minutes before someone pulled away and I was able to pull up and pull onto the charger. Now I plugged in, it took me a few seconds to use the app. No problem at all. It's fairly simple. If you've got, if you know how to use a mobile phone, you'll know how to charge one of these cars. It's pretty simple. Got on the fast charger. It's a 250 kilowatt charger. This car can accept up to 210 kilowatts. So that will also vary according to what electric car you buy. So do look into that. So you buy a car that can only accept 75 kilowatts. That's all you're going to get in it per hour. This one will take 210, which is pretty good. It's not bad. So 210, and it actually did, when I plugged it in, started to charge at 210 kilowatts. Now again, that will depend on the weather conditions, the local area consumption, all sorts of different variables. But I was getting the full bang for the buck, the 210. Wandered off, went in, got myself a Starbucks coffee and had a tinkle winkle in the toilets. Time I came back out, I went from 12% to 80% in that time. It was around 22 minutes. That's all it took to give me 80%, which also in turn gave me 260 miles of range. Utterly brilliant. So that I was really impressed with. The cost, not as impressive. It was around about 45 UK pounds. That kind of hurt a little bit, but I've only done that once in the whole week that I've had this car. So it's cost me 45 quid to run around in. That ain't bad, for a 7-seater luxury SUV like this. I'm impressed. So there you go. That's the lowdown on the actual driving about in one of these. I've got to say, the comfort levels, the quietness of the car, the acceleration is phenomenal. I mean, this is the GT line. I've got the all-wheel drive. I've got the full 5.3 seconds acceleration. You've got a couple of different modes that you can flick in and out of. Very easy to actually set this car up. Your drive modes are down here, so it's simple. You can also alter the amount of regen. So if you like the car to stop when you take your foot off, I've got it set in the auto mode. So it will kind of judge the conditions that you're in and give you a little bit of regen. If you want the maximum regen, just use the regen button here and click it a few times and pull it back towards you, and that'll give you the maximum regen. When you're out on the road, you're doing a run, take the regen off, because that doesn't help, because you're not stop starting. So your best sort of bang for your buck when it comes to the economy is around town, which is what this car was designed for. It was designed to sit in traffic jams in utter comfort and luxury. Air conditioning on, air conditioning in the back for the passengers, loads of space, quiet, comfortable, enough said. Now comes the best bit. So, without a shadow of a doubt, the Kia warranty is probably the best warranty in the world, in the entire automotive business. 7 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. Award-winning, class-leading warranty. Have you ever thought, why would they give such a fantastic warranty? Confidence is pretty obvious to me. They're confident in their product. Others can only dream of such a warranty. You get 5 years anti-corrosion warranty or 100,000 miles. You get 5 years paintwork warranty or 100,000 miles. You will get 5 years or 60,000 miles roadside assistance, covering you for any event, if you know, any eventuality if this car should break down, which I doubt very much because it is that well built. And on top of that, the most single important thing when you are buying an electric car is the battery warranty. 10 years or 100,000 miles on the battery on this. Enough said, absolutely enough said. You transfer over any of these warranties to a new owner, you sell the car in 3 years or 4 years, they're still going to have 6 or 7 years warranty left, minimum, on everything on this car. I don't even know where I need to say anymore. I think it speaks for itself. A £65,000 car that does everything it says on the tin and ticks every one of AJ's boxes. If I was in the market for one of these cars, I'd be down there test driving it now. Probably wouldn't even bother test drive. I'd just go in and order one in my favourite colour, because I think it's value for money, it's practical. I've spent a week with this car. I really love it, and I think I would definitely invest in one if I was in the market for it. I don't have 5 kids. Well, maybe I do, but maybe I don't know about them all. Who knows? We won't go down that route. But what I'm trying to say is I'm not currently personally in the market for a 7-seater luxury car, like, you know, luxury SUV. If I was, I'd definitely have one of these. I'd definitely put it on my top list because it's up there. You've been listening to me long enough now. You've been watching me and listening to me. AJ on the Player YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, like, subscribe and comment. There's a comment box down there at the bottom. It's there for a reason. If you want to know anything more about this car, leave a little note in the comment box. If you've bought one of these, you want to give us some added feedback on this car, stick it in the comment box down below and one of us will get back to you, or we will create a conversation about the Kia EV9. It's always handy, isn't it? If you're thinking of buying one, actually talking to people who own one, yeah, makes a big difference. Also down there you'll see there's a subscribe thing. Yeah, it's a little thing down in the corner, it says subscribe. You saw at the beginning of this video, we don't just do car reviews, we do tons of other stuff, so you might be interested in some of the other weird and wonderful stuff that we do. So subscribe and leave the bell sign unchecked, and then you get regular updates on all the videos that we put up, because we do put up an awful lot of videos, and then you can choose which ones you want to watch. It might be something of interest, or you just want to spend 10-15 minutes on a train or somewhere watching one of our videos because they're great fun or whatever. So leave the bell sign unchecked and you'll get those regular updates. One last thing, but I'll do it in return for someone else. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, it's not just for me, it's for the entire crew and the editing crew as well. That thumbs up doesn't get us any bonus, doesn't get us any extra money or anything like that. What it gets us is a pat on the back from the boss and the sponsors state. AJ and crew, you've done a really good job, because the people watching you have thumbsed up, so they must like it as well. And then we get a great pat on the back from it, and it keeps us in a job. So there you go. And then I said I'd give you something back in return for that. Well, something pretty special. I'm going to hold it up now, obviously not in the car here, but we'll do it by the magic of edit. There you go, I'm holding it up. It's called the Player Bookazine. Now the Player Bookazine is a 220-page bookazine based around a men's lifestyle. I can't say it's for men only, because it isn't. There's a lot of ladies out there that also like to subscribe to the Player Bookazine. It is a men's lifestyle, it's what we love. I'm now going to flick through the pages and show you, again by the magic of edit. You've got 220 pages of cars, boats, motorcycles, jet skis, holidays, golf, food, you name it. It's all in there, guys. Everything that you can think of. And it's yours for free. Oh, yes, totally free of charge. But not the big book, because if I gave you one of those for free, they cost 100 UK pounds. If I sent you one of those out and gave that for free, I wouldn't be here next week. I'd be out of a job and probably be owing the company hundreds of thousands of pounds. The online version is exactly the same. There's no different to the big hardback book. Want to buy a hardback book? Just go on the website. They're 100 quid. You can just buy them and they'll mail it out to you. However, I suggest you save a little bit of money, maybe, and try it first. Go to the website, www.theplayer.co.uk. It's coming up down there now. Editor, make sure you do that, please. Leave it up for a few seconds for everybody so they can memorise it. Head over there, just need a name and an email. That's it. And then you can either download it or you can read it at your leisure online. You can throw the pages over, zoom in, whatever you want to do. It's brilliant. I love it. I love the player. Well, the player pays me wages at the end of the day, so there you go. Guys, go over there, enjoy it. It's yours completely free of charge. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next week. Hopefully with the weather slightly changing and getting a little bit better, because it's just started to rain, with something different. See you next week, guys. This is AJ, signing out.